YouTube, it's Erin, and I would like to welcome you to my Luxury Closet 529, a place where not everything is luxurious, but a lot of it is luxurious to me, and here I like to share some of those luxuries with you. I cover handbags and jewelry and fashion, and sometimes vacations when I get to go on them. I've actually created multiple playlists, which you can check out if you subscribe to my channel. My playlists are wide and varied, from contemporary to luxury. I have vacation vlog playlists. I have handbag tips and tricks playlists. I have clothing, jewelry playlists. I have the gamut of playlists. I have brand specific playlists like Coach, Marc Jacobs, Louis Vuitton, Saint Laurent, etc., etc., etc. And I think I've done around 800 videos now, so it's a great way to check out older videos that you may have missed in categories that are specific to the interests that you may have. Today's video is going to focus on a dozen contemporary handbags that are gone from my collection in 2024. Now, 11 of these items I sold and one I gave away to a good friend, and all of them were purchased prior to 2024 except for two. And so I went ahead and put them all in one video. Unlike how I did my luxury handbags that are gone, I split those into two separate videos. Ones that I purchased prior to 2023 and then ones that came and went in the same year. I hope that all makes sense. I tend to ramble sometimes, so bear with me. I have at my feet several reasons why these dozen handbags are no longer with me, and I don't know what order things left, so I'm just going to start with the first one I wrote down, and that would be the sack bag. I purchased the sack from 24S in a beautiful floral patterned leather, and prior to that, I purchased and returned the tote bag in that same floral pattern. And the leather on the tote bag, I didn't really like very much. I didn't like how it was wrapped around the structure of the bag. I didn't like how the handles felt on it. And so I sent that one back and I got the sack bag. The sack bag's leather was much more pleasing, but for me, that bag was just wide open. I have come to the realization that tote bags that are wide open really aren't for me. Now, it did have a liner inside that zipped closed that you could remove, and I tended to want to remove it so the bag slouched more. And then the only closure was the magnet, a single magnet at the top. And for me, that just didn't work nearly as well as other totes I have in my collection. And this bag, while it was a hobo, it really felt more like a tote to me because of its size. If I'm going to carry a bag that size, I enjoy carrying my Longchamp Les Pliage bags. This one I'm going to talk about a little bit later here, but this is the Les Pliage in the large shoulder tote from the City collection, which is like a canvas. And it's kind of a little bit bumpy looking because I had it stuffed in my Marc Jacobs the tote bag behind me, but I love this bag and we'll talk more about it later. It does have a zipper though, so I feel like I am, I guess, less likely to lose things than I am in a bag like the sack that's wide open. The good thing about the sack is that when you take out the liner, it is pretty deep. So that helps, I guess, in protecting those items. And if you use pouches, which there's plenty of room to do, that would protect your items as well. It just wasn't a style that worked for me. Since I bought the sack in 2024 and also sold it in 2024, let's go ahead and do the other bag that I did the same thing with. And that would be from Naomi Crafted. Now, in this case, I didn't purchase this bag or these two bags. They were generously gifted to me, and one of them I found just did not work. And it is the one that was made from an Hermes desk bag, and it resembled the design of the Hermes Garden Party. And it was a nice size handbag. I liked that. It was wide open, no zipper. So I guess I didn't love that part of it. And the main thing that was a drawback for me was that the shoulder straps were not shoulder straps. It was really meant to be a hand carry bag. And as you saw on the last bag I just showed you, the Longchamp, I really like my tote bags to be on the shoulder. And I like a zip. So it was missing the zip, it was missing the shoulder functionality, and for that reason, I just decided that I would rather give it to somebody who would love it, and I think she loves it. I believe the last time we talked about it, she told me she used it more than most all of her other bags. So that is super cool that it is getting use from a good friend of mine. Let's talk a little bit more about Longchamp. So I have one Longchamp extra small bag left. And this is kind of what I started my channel with, or these bags were kind of what I started my channel with. I had over 20 of the Longchamp extra small bags. I wore them, I love them. I had so many different varieties. I have a whole Longchamp playlist, and I will link it down in the description box if you want to see the collection I amassed. And this year I sold not the last two, but two of the last three. And those two would be the cream colored croc embossed, almost patent leather finished extra small. And then the final one was the Duodene quilted lambskin one. And both of those bags, they were great, but they sat on my shelf unused because with my collection, I tend to get bored, and I'm to the point now when I sell things, it's generally not because I don't like them. Now, there are some cases where that happens. I'll buy something and I'll realize I don't like it after I've used it a bit. But in the case of the Longchamp extra small bags, it wasn't that I didn't like them. It's that I just wasn't using them anymore. I used the heck out of them on a daily basis and switched back and forth between them for a long time. And then I just let them sit up on my shelf. And I decided I would rather sell almost all of them. I kept this one. It does have a little bit of wear on the corners, but I kept this one, and I know you've heard this many times because it's red. It's red, and it matches the Chiefs, it matches the KU Jayhawks, and it matches my kids' sports teams. And I wouldn't get that much for it, and it is a smooshy, nice, small bag that can go a lot of places, and I just don't have to worry about it. So this is the only one left, but if you want to see what I had, go check out that playlist because it was quite incredible, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, what I put together in terms of a collection. I kind of got sidetracked when I was talking about the Naomi crafted bag that I gave to my friend, and I forgot to show you this one. I decided out of the two bags that she gifted me that I wanted to keep this one. While it is very similar in design to a mini Lady Dior, I love that it's not branded and it has this beautiful silk design on it. And I just think every detail on this bag was well thought out, and the quality is there, and I think it is a piece of art. And I don't have very many pieces of art left in my collection, but this one with this beautiful green, almost a Kelly green color, just slightly darker, and the coral pattern of the birds on it, it just really draws my eye to it when I come into my closet. And that's why out of the two bags I was gifted, this is the one that really has my heart. Let's talk about Cassie 19s now. If you haven't checked out my Coach playlist, and I might even have a Cassie 19 playlist. If I do, I'll link it down below. I can't remember if I created one specifically for that handbag. At one time, I had many Cassie 19s and many Coach Cassies. And the last one I purchased was the Cassie 19 in the faded blue, and it was the last one to go. And the reason why I purchased it is because at the time, Tiffany did a collaboration with Fendi, and they released a gorgeous blue Fendi baguette where the emblem on the front, it's a combination of T's and F's, and they did it in a satin and also in a leather. If I ever bought that, I would want it in the leather. but I loved it. And I felt like the Cassie 19 and the faded blue kind of gave the same vibes. But when I got it into my collection, the color of blue was just not one I reached for. And so I sold that one, and I feel like the Mulberry Mini Base Water in the acrylic green sort of replaced it. It is a much softer blue than the faded blue. It's hard to see. I think you can see it a little better if I get it closer up, perhaps. Maybe against my shirt, but it is a beautiful shade that's just much lighter than that faded blue. And it's just a better match for me than that bright color. I also have my Keep All 25, which has almost the same color on it. And these serve kind of a dressier occasion if I pair the Mini Base Water with a chain, and a more casual occasion if I carry the Keep All 25. Now, not only was the color on that Cassie 19 a bit of a fail for me, but the Cassie 19, I guess I'm just sort of tired of it. I don't think it was made as well as the Cassie by a little bit. And you know I love the shape of the Cassie because much like the Cassie, the Dress Up Your Purse Paris 15 has my heart. I do prefer this version to the Coach Cassie. I think it is actually made better. I like how all of these edges are done in a way that they're not going to crack like the Cassie and the Cassie 19 were prone to do. And I like the lock on this a little better than the C turn lock on the Coach Cassie. And I like the Coach Cassie's closure better than the Pochette Matisse because that closure scratches like crazy. This one holds up really well though. Out of Coach's bags that they offer, I feel like the Cassie 19 is lower on the totem pole in terms of quality. The Cassie 19 is nowhere near the quality of the Times Square Tabby, for instance. This feels luscious. This feels luxurious. This feels every bit as good as that Fendi baguette does, maybe even better. But when I felt the Cassie 19, I just didn't feel that with that polished pebbled leather. It didn't feel luxurious to me. And Coach has bags out there now that feel absolutely amazing, and they have had for a long time. The leather on their Rogue bags is delicious. That pebbled leather is hands down way better than that on the Cassie 19. So that's another reason why the Cassie 19s are not part of my collection anymore. But I did enjoy them for a long time. I loved the size. I loved the multiple strap options, and I used the heck out of them and enjoyed them while I had them, but I have no desire to go and add them back at this point. This next bag I'm going to show you, it may surprise you, and that would be the Soft Pebble Camera Bag by Coach. I had a collection of these as well. I had like 5 of them, I think, at one time. Then I sold a few, then I bought a few back. I kind of went back and forth, and now I have this one. I have one other Coach camera bag, but it's really not like this one at all. The Soft Pebble Camera Bag's leather is to die for. This is the kind of leather that I love to get from Coach. And much better, like I was mentioning, than that on the Cassie 19. It's squishy and gushy, and they don't make this particular style anymore, but they do have amazing leather on a lot of their handbags. I think you just have to go feel them, or at least buy them from a place that you can return to if you get a bag that doesn't feel like you want it to. For me, handbags are very tactile, and part of the experience and the joy I get out of them is how they feel when I'm carrying them. I like to give them a good rub sometimes, and I love how the Soft Pebble Camera Bag feels. I've had it in papaya, which I bought, I sold, I bought again. I just don't know about that color for me. I still kind of want something in that color, but I didn't use it. It's kind of like that faded blue. So that papaya color may come back into my collection at some point, but when I've bought and sold it twice in a particular style, and I actually sold that color in the Tally bag by Coach as well, I don't think that I will purchase another bag in that exact shade. Maybe I just need something that's toned down or muted just a tad from the color Papaya by Coach. I also sold my chalk Coach camera bag, and I sold my taupe one. And those bags, they're fabulous, but this is the one I reached for, this is the one I used, and the other one's just set on the shelf. And I don't have a lot of variety in my collection. I mean, my collection's so big, I do have a lot of variety, but I have a lot of duplicates. And if I'm gonna carry a taupe camera bag, I think I want to reach for the Saint Laurent version and then enjoy the Coach Soft Pebble camera bag when I'm looking for a black and gold camera bag. So that is also part of my thought process as to why I sold the Coach camera bag in taupe. Now let's talk about some cream and ivory colored bags. I sold my Coach Mira bag, which was a beautiful chalk Coach bag, and it had a silver chain and then also some leather straps. And then I also sold my Coach Soft Tabby in ivory. Both of those bags were beautiful. The Mira bag was kind of hard to pack with its crescent shape, and I just didn't use it. So my motto is, if you're not using it and you don't think you're going to use it, then that's a good reason to part with it, unless you consider it art. And I really am down to only having one bag that I consider art, and that is this Naomi crafted bag. Other than that, all of the bags in my collection now are usable bags, and that was something I really tried to move towards in 2024. Many of the sales of luxury bags as well as contemporary bags were bags that I was not using, and I bought others that I will use in order to transition my collection from being a lot of somewhat useless art to being something that's very functional, where I can walk into my closet, turn around in a circle, and pick a bag that I want to use easily based on whatever outfit I'm wearing for the day. So back to cream bags. I sold the Mira bag because the shape didn't work for me. Now the Soft Tabby bag is a different story. The shape of that bag did work for me, and I had a whole collection of Soft Tabbies by Coach, and I enjoyed them while I had them, and they were well made. So why did I sell them? I mean, it's sort of like the Longchamp extra smalls. I just got tired of them. I used them a lot, and then I didn't use them at all. And so I went on to collect something else. When it comes to the Soft Tabby and the Mira, both of those bags were light colored bags, the two that I had left. And I kept those two primarily because of strap action. I really enjoyed mixing and matching straps with those bags. And I found that at least for the straps that went with the Soft Tabby, that they also went with my Louis Vuitton Georges BB. And this bag, it's just divine. I really love it. It is extremely well made. The empreinte is very deep on it. And it has a top handle, which the Soft Tabby didn't really have. And it has a crossbody strap. So the Georges BB is a little bit more to my liking than the Soft Tabby was. The one niggle I had with that Soft Tabby is how the top would kind of like get deformed depending on how you packed it. And so I guess that was the one issue that I had with that style, and this bag doesn't do that. The other issue I had with my cream Coach bags is that if I'm going to carry a cream colored bag, I'm going to be precious with it. It doesn't matter if it's Coach, if it's Longchamp, if it's Marc Jacobs, YSL, no matter what it is, I'm going to be extremely careful with it because for the most part, I treat all of my handbags the same. I don't want them to get messed up, so I am very careful with them. There are a few bags that are kind of designated for sporting events that I'm a little less careful with, but it's not like I throw those around either. And so I decided if I'm going to be precious with a cream colored bag, I might as well use my luxury cream colored bags. This is backwards. Let me fix that. And so these are the two I decided that I would keep. And selling those Coach bags didn't have anything to do with selling them to get a different cream colored bag, because I already had both of these. But I felt like with these two, that if I wanted to wear a light colored bag, I have it covered. And if these two don't cover it, then I surely can find another bag that will go with my outfit amongst my collection. And so that's my process on letting those two Coach bags go, the soft tabby in ivory and the Mira in chalk. Another Longchamp bag that I let go was my Neo Le Pliage large shoulder tote in the color taupe. And I replaced it with the city version because I wanted a waterproof version of this Longchamp tote. And I don't regret swapping those out at all. I still have the Neo nylon black version of this tote and I love it. It's going nowhere. But I wanted to have a different version that was, I guess, just more protective of what's inside, more waterproof. And so that's why this one is in my collection now instead of the Neo. I love the Neo, and a good friend of mine has that one and has enjoyed it. And I'm telling you guys, whenever you get my bags and you love them, especially when you comment down below when I'm talking about the ones that have went, I really get a lot of enjoyment out of hearing that you are loving them. Because like I said, most of these bags I really loved at one time. And when I sell them, for the most part, it's not because I hate them. It's just because I'm trying not to have so much. And I am shifting whatever I'm doing with my collection. I'm changing the path. I'm using more satchel bags, for example. And so I don't need as many flap bags. That would be one thing. Or I'm using slightly bigger bags, so I don't need all these tiny bags. And so that's how it goes in the revolving door of my closet. The last of the dozen bags that I'm going to talk about that are gone from my collection went to a good friend of mine that I met through YouTube, and she's bought several bags from me. And that would be the Ruche Tory Burch Kira bag. At one point I had a pretty big Tory Burch Kira collection, and I would say that the Ruche Tory Burch Kira was my favorite out of all of them, hands down. The quality on that bag is incredible. I actually picked it up when I was in Dallas with one of my other good friends I met through YouTube, Julie, with Agent Bag Reviews. It was my birthday weekend celebration, and we went to a mall down in Dallas. I think it was North Park, and went to the Tory Burch store and got this Ruche Kira. And it had silver hardware, and I loved it. I really did. And for me, some sales that I have made have been generated by friends expressing interest in bags that I currently have in my collection. They'll put a seed in my head, like, if you ever want to sell that bag, let me know. And that seed was planted, and I kept looking at it and thinking, I really haven't been using it. Nothing wrong with that bag. Nothing at all. Loved it, would recommend it. Now, the chevron versions of the Kira, I have some issues with those because they don't have much structure. The corners are folded in a way that can get damaged pretty easily. But this Ruche Kira was chef's kiss perfect for Tory Burch design and function, and just a gorgeous bag. But once again, I didn't really use it that much. I kind of considered it a dressy bag. So when I went to Hawaii the last time, I ended up going to Saint Laurent, and I bought the taupe version of this wristlet. And when I got back home, I found the black one at a great price, and I added it. And I kind of felt like if I was going to carry that Ruche Kira, it would be to something I was dressing up a little bit for. I could certainly carry it every day, but it was fancy. And so I thought, well, I could use this bag instead. And I have. It's a wristlet, but it's got a conversion kit in it, and now I have a chain on it, and it's fabulous for going to an event and being hands-free. You can put a shorter chain on it and wear it on the shoulder. It doesn't hold near as much as that Kira did, though. And so whenever Melody with Dress Up Your Purse came out with her Paris 15s, and she came out with the black version with the silver hardware. I thought, voila, I can do this bag as a casual black and silver bag. And that's exactly what I've done. This bag holds probably a little more than the ruched Kira. I can wear it crossbody more comfortably because it doesn't have that convertible chain flap. And it's a little bit, I think, narrower in its side profile. So I've really enjoyed carrying this bag as an alternative, and I do grab for it more than I did the ruched Kira. So that is it in a nutshell. The dozen contemporary bags gone from my collection in 2024. I'd like to ask you, if you've reached this part of the video and you stuck with me the whole way through, please leave some sort of holiday emoji down below, a Christmas tree, a wreath, a poinsettia. I don't know if that is such a thing in emojis, but some sort of holiday emojis. If you don't know how to do emojis, just write Merry Christmas. And I would like to wish all of you Merry Christmas as well. It is sneaking up on us faster than we know. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring the notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. I post links to my videos there in case it doesn't pop up in your feed here. That's another way to make sure you don't miss any. My handle there is the same. It's the @ then My Luxury Closet 529, all lowercase. You can DM me there, or you can email me at myluxurycloset529@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye.